entertainmentbuddha.com.
Dun da 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 dun da 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 wah 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 da 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 wah 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 da 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 wah 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 wah. Hey now everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode, and yes, I see you, First Order Flame Trooper, staring at me. Yes, I have some on my desk. Anyways, sorry for the little tangent there. It's Matt and Nick. We're back on a new episode of Star Wars Time, and we're here to talk about that galaxy that we, well, most of us still love. That one from far, far away. But anyways, it was kind of a light week. It was an odd week in Star Wars land in terms of just, it was crickets for the most part. And while some sites may sit here and claim victory and amazing news in Star Wars universe, me and Nick, I mean, I do think Nick agrees with me. We're kind of tempered on it, but we will talk about it because there was a fairly big announcement this week for Episode 9 in terms of casting and someone from the original trilogy, but we will touch on that. But we got some other stuff to talk about, such as things going on in my life in terms of Star Wars and raising a kid in the vein of Star Wars. So I've had some cool things going on. We got some other deals on the Obi-Wan movie, or the pretend Obi-Wan movie, because it's still not real. So that's Nick, that's kind of the theme this week, is we're going to talk about stuff that a lot of people are saying is 100% take it to the bank, but the people that cut the checks and make the movies have not made a single comment on.
Yeah, we saw what happened, not too long ago when somebody was like 100% take it to the bank, exclusive, all the Star Wars stories are on hold, and come to find out, when it comes from, the horse's mouth, when it comes from Lucasfilm, they say, yeah, that guy didn't know what he's talking about. A lot of these movies that have been in production, that aren't announced yet, are still in production. Don't listen to anything that dude says. Like, calm the fuck down. So, again, like you were saying, there's some news out there that dropped about casting for Episode 9. We're going to get to it. Nothing official yet.
There are good points in these articles which we'll bring up, but I mean, at this point, I've literally just taken a stance where I'm over the fucking bullshit, because I bought into the Solo trashing and all that nonsense, and it ended up being bogus. I mean, until I get the stamp of approval from StarWars.com, pretty much everything we're going to talk about later on the show, to me, is speculative. While it's probably likely to be true, it's not official, so I'm not gonna treat it that way.
Yeah, and that's kind of going to be our stance moving forward. We're not saying that any of these outlets that they're coming from don't have excellent credibility or anything like that, but
yeah,
we just want to wait on the official word.
It's just, I mean, to me, the way they're treating these stories, though, it almost is kind of dishonest.
Yeah, I mean, when you post something up,
because if you read the fucking titles, man, I mean, this week and some of the stuff we talked about on the few other shows where we've kind of highlighted how Star Wars has become so sensationalized. Just, hey, I'm gonna throw out this fucking title and see how many clicks I can get, and it's just. That's to me what this Billy D stuff has felt like, just like the Kerry Russell stuff felt like on our last episode.
Yeah, it's a lot of, clickbait, style articles. When the Kerry Russell, rumor was put out there, and again, for Kerry Russell, it wasn't like a casting. It was just that she was in talks, quote unquote. Like, it wasn't even that she's on the movie. It's that, like, she's talking about possibly being in the movie, and then from that, you get articles from Nerdist and from, all Verge and all of these different sites that's like, who could Kerry Russell play in Episode 9? It's like, dude, she isn't even in the movie yet. Like, it's like the article didn't even say that she was cast.
It's fair to do a who could, because we are big who shoulda, woulda, coulda, wouldas, right? I mean, that's what we like to do. We like to speculate. But we do it under the guise of speculation, not fact. And that's what a lot of these sites have essentially framed this shit around Carrie and now around Billy as like, hey, this is going down, even though no one that actually controls the license, the money, the decision-making has said anything about it. It's going down because Joe Schmo, a janitor, a maid or a secretary, an office associate, whatever you want to call them, said something to Bob.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? But
we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that. I mean, we got other things to talk about. So, Nick, go ahead. What do you want to start with tonight in terms of our discussions?
So, if you've ever listened to our cast, you know that Matt and I are big fans of this Star Wars mobile game called Galaxy of Heroes.
Oh, yeah.
So
it is, my friends, the greatest, the godfather of probably the best formula for an extended, replayable, daily, for hours, free-to-play mobile game ever created.
Yeah, by far. I mean, I've played mobile games in the past, Angry Birds, shit like that, but I've never kind of gotten into a mobile game to the level I have until
Dude,
I
it's a
Galaxy
daily
Heroes.
obsession. It's a daily obsession.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, you have to, like me, we essentially have to just sit there and be like, hi, my name is Matt, and I play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for probably 2 consecutive hours a day for free.
Yeah. That's kind of what this game.
And
has
on
turned
raid
into.
days, it may go up to 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, if my purple gems are pretty high, I can drag it out a little bit longer. But so essentially, within this game, you're working within the Star Wars universe across all timelines. So you're not just limited to
I mean, all timelines. We're talking, for some reason, EA's been able to just skirt canon issues. They're like, fuck it. We're folding in fucking KOTOR motherfuckers all the way up to The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, TLJ, you have 2 versions of Kylo Ren. You have the masked version from Episode 7. You have the unmasked version from Episode 8. And now, like Matt hinted to, we're bringing in some more Old Republic characters to fill out this ever-growing roster of Star Wars heroes and villains. And the 2 that we're introducing now are Bastila Shan and Jolie Bindo. So if you've ever played the Old Republic video games, whether it be Knights of the Old Republic 1 or even if you played Star Wars The Old Republic MMO, you will recognize the names of Jolie Bindo and Bastila Shan.
Even still, the first characters we got from that era were from KOTOR 2. I mean, we got the Triumvirate.
Yeah.
We got Nihilus, Scion, and Traya.
Yep, exactly. So that seems to be like their
crazy.
new move. And now that when you think about it a little bit, with KOTOR 2, EA basically owns all the KOTOR characters now. They own BioWare, which means they own those characters that they were created under. And, they're using those licenses to bring these excellent characters into a game that, a ton of people still play. And it's really cool to see, while EA hasn't made AAA games to the level that we would have liked to see it, that, they're still putting out content for this quality fucking mobile game that's really killing it. I mean, I think you said you talked to a couple of the guys at either Celebration or E3 that work on this game, and they're like, yeah, didn't they say their studio size is like skyrocketed or something?
Oh, and this would have been at Celebration 17
last year.
Yeah, it was Celebration for The Last Jedi. And I met with one of the developers, and he's like, yeah, dude, we went from like just this little studio to an 80 to 100 person studio fully supported by the whales.
Yeah, I mean, 80 to 100 people, like that is the staff size of like
to run this bitch daily. Think about that. Yeah. They need up to, at this point, I guarantee it's over 100 people. I guarantee, because we're talking a year and a half later in probably a much larger player base.
Yeah. And
to think about, there could be 100 people who are their lives are funded through a free-to-play game.
Yeah,
think about that.
Free to play.
Their lives, their health care, their salary, everything is paid for through this game.
Yeah.
By just a select group of players called whales, because most of us are free.
Yeah, I mean, you can play this game 100% free and never spend a dime on it and just have, an amazing time playing it. But as with every free-to-play mobile game, there are, in-game purchases that you can make to kind of speed along your process if there's a character that you like.
Of course, but do you not feel like this is a game where you never feel as if, okay, I get it, I gotta pay you to have more fun?
Yeah, no, I've never felt like that. I mean,
it's like, all right, I'm just gonna have to wait a little longer, but I know I have the same chance as someone that's willing to pony up the dollars. I'm just gonna have to wait. And to me, I think that embodies the free-to-play model.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you have impatient people out there, then
I know two guys. Two guys that are. They're in our Alliance and Strike Force that have spent over $1,000 on that game.
Yes. So that just goes to show you that, the way that they get you is, these events come around for the legendary characters in this game. People like Grand Admiral Thrawn, or people like, Commander Luke Skywalker. Even I wouldn't say lower tier, but even easier to get people like Emperor Palpatine or Grandmaster Yoda. When these legendary characters roll around, what they do is they'll release, dollar bill packs, pay $10 to get the shards for the characters that you need to get these people.
My guy, he calls it panic farming.
Yeah.
One of the guys that has spent over $1,000, he calls it panic farming. And it's exactly what you're saying. It's when we get this announcement that, fucking Jedi Rey training or Rey Jedi training is coming around, but you need X, Y, and Z and ABC to get her. There will be people like, oh shit, I can't farm him, so spend. Or it's called panic farming.
Yeah. I almost got into that, mindset with this recent CLS event.
You're probably like, yo, I just want them, so fuck it, whatever it takes.
Yeah,
I get it.
I get it. You get there, and then I felt like I was prepared for it. I had all the characters that I needed at the level, at the 7-star level they were supposed to be at, and then I start playing the event, and I'm like, holy shit, I need to level up my fucking abilities now. So, it's a fucking fantastic.
And I've told all you guys, all you guys are like, oh, man, I spent. I'm like, hey, listen. Nothing wrong with it. I refuse to do it because I already spend so much of my family's money on collectibles. I cannot further justify spending money on a fucking game that within probably 5 years will be dead.
Yeah.
Or gone or unsupported. You never know.
You never know for sure,
But I know for sure when I buy a fucking $230 Hot Toys Luke Return of the Jedi figure, that motherfucker's going to be around and probably at least worth what he was that I spent on him when I bought him.
Yeah. You'll get some return on your investment probably. With this, if you spend...
But I'm not hating on it, man. I'm jealous of people that spend on these games. You just, at this point in my, my life and my situation and family, this, that, and the other thing, you got to make a decision. Are you going to buy the fucking toys or are you going to buy the fucking digital shit?
Yeah.
And I've decided it's going to be the toys.
Yeah. So going back to the release of the new heroes so
the
far,
whole point is...
Have you played through the events?
Oh, yeah, both
unlock?
of them.
Okay.
I've unlocked both of them. And, dude, once you got to remember, I played this game since it came out. I'm going to be, I believe... Shit, are we coming up on... Yeah, I think we're coming up on 3 years this November. So I'll be a 3-year player. So, dude, I'm locked and loaded. I'm not as far as I could be if I've spent money, clearly. But yeah, I mean, anytime these events come out for new characters, I can just auto the shit out of it in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Because I have money teams. I mean, I've got CLS leading R2 and fucking gold Chirrut, almost gold Baze. I mean, it's just a nightmare. I just destroy it.
Yeah, so I haven't played the Bindo one yet, but I played the Bastilla Shan one. So what, like, in my opinion, and I know, like, you know, you don't get a good representation of the character when you're playing them, like, super buff to hell when these events come out. But
bro, I'll tell you right now, it's been such a long time since I've dabbled in those two games. I don't even remember either one of them.
Yeah, but just in terms of, like, what they bring to the game, I feel like Bastilla Shan can be pretty strong. Like, just playing her with Grandmaster Yoda, where, like, you can essentially give him, like, 5 serious buffs and then
dude,
have him
I mean,
send them to the whole
when
team.
when you auto
Yeah.
like a lazy ass, I don't know what the fuck she can do or what she can't at this point.
So essentially, like, she's got...
I just try to get through it, man. I just spam. I'm like, you know, even when they force you to like hit the power button,
yeah, right.
I'm just going like, go, just let me hit the arrow. Like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm just like, go.
Get it done.
Give me my fucking shards and credits.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. So essentially, right now you have the ability in the game to get free 3-star Jolie Bindo in Bastilla Shan, and if you play it, you also have the ability to pay for additional shards for these characters if you want to. There's a $10 pack for each one of them.
You get legit fucking mods through that too, though. I mean, you're getting fucking all 5-dot health mods.
Yeah.
And there's a good chance one of them may be a fucking plus 30 speeder.
Yeah, which is like the holy grail in that game.
I'll tell you right now, anyone that is playing this game, if you do not know this at this point, always go to the mod store and look at the arrows. And if you ever find an arrow that says +4 as the primary, you buy that immediately.
Yeah, because that turns into a plus 30 speed.
And then you rank that shit up to 15 immediately, and then you equip it to your best players.
Yeah, because right now I have 2 of those, and one of them...
Anyone that you play in Arena should have one of those plus 30 arrows.
Yeah, I only have 2 of them so far. I have to look at the stuff that I got from the Bastilla Shan drop, but one of them's on Palpatine and one of them's on Vader. So... my arena team's not as built out yet. I'm building it up, but my arena team,
that's the only way you'll ever get to over 200 speed on a character. You have to have one of those.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sitting at around rank 250 right now in arena, and I probably should be higher.
That's insane. See, that's insane, and this is just, again, me being a day one. I fight to stay under 300. I'm usually high 300. Like today I think I hit 267, but it's a struggle.
Yeah,
because every one of my shit is like 120,000 power, full gold gear.
See, I think what ends up happening is like,
well, you get stuck in different ladders.
Yeah,
I mean, we're all in. That's what I mean. I believe I'm in ladders with people that have been playing the game either with or without money for 3 years, so they're all going to be fucking boss.
Yeah, see, because right now my power rank for my team is 78,700.
Yeah.
And my
yeah, dude, I'm almost 100,000, and you're ranked higher than I am.
Yeah, but like every time, like if I go on my arena team right now and I just hit refresh, there's no team that I can fight that's under 90,000. So I'm hanging pretty high in there, and it's because.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm running a full Sith team though, because you told me about this from your buddy. Like I'm running Palp. The only thing that I'm missing is Thrawn. I'm running Palp, Vader, Savage, Scion, and Nihilus with 1 Zeta on Palp and 1 Zeta on Savage. So
yeah, I think Thrawn's the only difference, and that's considered a nightmare squad, especially if you have Palpatine double Zeta.
Yeah. So
because I mean, apparently that is like a guaranteed. Obviously, once you get them high gear, And 7-star. I mean, that's a guaranteed, like, top 20 arena squad.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm still working on the stars for Scion and Nihilus because I didn't drop crazy amounts of money when they first came out, but...
Yeah, I know Savage is not in that formula.
No,
but
he's
you're
not.
Close.
Yeah, it's like, he's up there because I got him zated for the hot run when we still thought we couldn't do it, but now we just walk through it like it's cake.
Dude, I mean, Horus... For some reason, I'm getting shitty dice rolls recently because even this last one, I was humming along, and then for some reason, I couldn't complete the tank before it went postal.
Yeah.
You know, there's like a countdown. That's that little skull. I mean, once that skull is fully realized, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because you can't heal, you can't re-shield, nothing. You're done.
You hit the enrage timer, and then...
Exactly. You're fucked. And for some reason, I can't kill it anymore.
Yeah, so I mean,
but Home Slice is clearing like 30 million. I'm doing 20 million. So yeah, I mean it's a joke.
Yeah, I mean on those raids, I just don't have the team yet to even be able to compete. So like
that squad is sick, dude.
Yeah,
I mean it's Akbar lead. Doesn't even need to be gold. I don't have gold Akbar. I mean Akbar lead, BB-8, Thrawn, Ventress. Commander.
Yeah. See, that's like I have Ventress 7-star. I have Akbar 6-star. So I'm getting close to him. He should probably be 7 within the next week or so. But yeah, man. I mean, it's for me. It's like I'm constantly trying to like, you know, level teams that I know can do well or that I know I need for stuff. Like the last leveling spree that I went on was in, you know, waiting for the CLS event. Now that that's come and gone, I'm trying to focus on like putting a little bit of focus towards teams that I'm gonna
Do you have
need.
Thrawn yet?
I do. I have Thrawn 5-star. So like when Thrawn rolls around again, like I'm hoping to be able to get him to 7.
Yeah, so yeah, you're gonna want your Phoenixes at probably Gear 9 minimum and maybe Zeta Sabine.
Yeah, see that's where my issue is right now with that is that I have a full 7-star Phoenix
and you
squad.
also, I mean, you need a fucking 7-star first order to get BB.
Exactly.
Because you need BB. I mean, BB is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because he can reuse his one special over and over and over.
Yeah, the one that...
And it's a special one paired with Akbar's lead that anytime you hit that, a rebel is also going to attack at the same time.
Yeah, there's so many sick synergies in this game, and that just...
That's the point. I mean, that's what I love about this game. Honestly, it is a grind game. I'm not going to lie. It's a fucking grind. I mean, I'm so used to it. Every day I can knock out, like, the grindy shit within, like, 3 minutes.
Yeah, because you've got...
But it's a grind. But I live for the raids and building the synergistic teams that can just topple the fucks.
Yeah, I mean, as weird as this may sound, like, you know, it's really cool to be able to have a team of, you know, and this is something that's actually, I mean, I don't know if this was always like this. I mean, you know, having a team of all, like you said, all resistance people, all rebels, all First Order, all Empire, synergized together.
I've been playing this game almost 3 years. This is the first time this spring that I've earned General Kenobi shards.
Yeah, and
I've never beaten hot until now.
Yeah, and it's like it's all due to like the brilliant design of these characters and the way,
and just the user base figuring the shit out. I mean, it's called there's literally a movement. It's called theory crafting.
Yeah,
where these users literally study, because the game it's very RPG-istic, right? I mean, because
it's strategy RPG. Like if you've ever played like a strategy RPG similar to like Final Fantasy Tactics or something like that, it may not be 100% like it, but if you've never played the game before and you have played Tactics, it's similar.
I mean, you can choose to level up powers, and certain powers have synergies with other powers, and certain powers have synergies with other characters. And then, you know, leaders have synergies with everyone. And if you really read all the fine print and then study the adversary, people have figured out, in all the raids at this point, have figured out how to destroy him, because the raids are tough. I mean, they're legitimately tough. Even Rancor for a point in time, dude.
Oh yeah,
I remember it would take me and my original guild fucking days to beat the Rancor raid. I mean, now I think we can beat it in 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you get, basically, like you said, you have a murder squad for that pretty much finished the whole raid on its own.
Well, it cleans it. Like, I literally just hit go, auto, and put my phone down, and I know I win.
Yeah. So, I mean, luckily Matt gives us all a little bit of time to jump in and get some damage on before somebody goes in and wrecks it. But, I mean, it's been a very interesting time, you know, like leveling up these characters in this game and really learning to build systems. I mean, it's a fucking fantastic game, man. And, you know, I played it for a little before I jumped in the Matt's guild, and he actually had to, like, reduce the level requirement to get me in. Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those games where I've just been addicted to it ever since I started. And
I remember that.
Yeah, I can't talk enough about it. Like you said, with the raids, like, usually games like this don't have raids. Like, I don't know a mobile game that has, like, legitimate raid structure other than Strikeforce.
Well, it's like, I mean, Strikeforce tries to call their shit a raid. I mean, it's just, that's a clusterfuck.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally just playing through a series of campaign
I mean, literally, you know that
guild.
we cannot physically beat the top Ultimus raid without a full 30-man team. It's physically impossible.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how strong everyone is.
Like,
you can't do it.
Yeah, because of the way they have it set up with the lines and, you know, you have to hit every node to 100% it. Like, you can't. You're right. You need a full, 24-man, because it's 8 per team. Like, you need a full 24-man squad that literally hits every node. With the Star Wars ones, it feels like an actual raid that you would play in an RPG.
It's you either require everyone or you end up just having the superpowered win for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And at least now they've, you know, with the new update that they released, at least now they give you the ability to like queue up a day before the raid starts.
I mean, I no longer have to worry about like yelling at people to quit joining early. I mean, it's perfect now.
Yeah. So they, you know, the developers of this game are not only adding content,
and that's why they're successful.
Characters.
They listen. They truly. I do. I mean, not that I contribute to the community, but clearly, a lot of they call them quality of life updates. They do few throughout the year, and then one massive one at least once a year, where they essentially implement community recommendations.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of these community recommendations have turned into.
Well, I mean, now,
dude,
the raids run themselves. I program the logic, and I have not had to worry about launching a raid on time with the rules and all this since that update. It just basically, if it's Sith raid, whenever we hit this, go. When it's hot, whenever we hit this, go. When it's pit, go.
Yeah. And it seems like the only thing that needs a little bit of tweaking right now that our guild has kind of realized is the matchmaking within the territory wars. Dude, because we get matched with some of the most ridiculous teams I've ever seen. Like, I think it was either like 2 or 3. It was right when young Han Solo and young Lando released. We ended up going against a team that had, and this is like 2 days after these characters came out in the game, this whole guild had the newest characters as leveled up as you could get them. Like, top tier gear, maximum level, like just built out to shit.
We've been beating like 15,000 to 4,000. I mean, there are times that I just go, well, it's not even worth it fucking playing. Like, why? I mean, who cares?
Yeah. Dude, I the last team that we played against, their front
we couldn't even beat it.
Territories. Yeah, the front one was all triple Zeta CLS lead.
Yeah.
All gold tier.
Exactly.
18 teams, and then the other one was all. It was literally, they told them to set it up this way. All Palp double Zeta.
I mean,
Palp
it was
with full Sith teams.
It was impossible. So I didn't even try.
Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, I found one where I thought that I might be able to do it. It was like somebody was able to kill 2 people on a CLS squad, and I was like, well, maybe if I throw my full top tier, I didn't, dude. I tried to do it. And I killed one of the 3.
A fully leveled CLS is basically Jesus Christ. I mean, he will destroy you.
Like, I'm sitting there and I'm just praying to God that I can hit him with,
because he'll
Palpatine
fully
and
heal
get
himself with shields and then whack you down.
Yeah, like nothing.
I love that guy.
There was literally nothing we could do. But I mean, like, plus with this game, you're not only getting, like, you know, being able to play with the characters like Obi-Wan and all these iconic characters within the universe. They've also now relatively recently introduced the fleet battles. So now you have, you know, Jedi starfighters.
I'm slowly
that are
getting
associated
into
with
ships
all of
more
your characters.
because I finally dipped to the point where I'm getting legitimate ship currency, which means I can get more Zetas, which means I can get more powerful dudes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of what led me into it, because I'm flipping through all of the individual little, you know, shipment areas, and I see that, you know, you can get a Zeta material with the ship one. So I'm starting to do that too. I'm like slowly building up my ships, which is just another part of the game. You know, you have your individual characters, you have your squad synergies that you can build, and now you have your ships that you can build up, and then also, you know, what they're moving towards now is kind of building these synergies within the ships. And I mean, it's just the way that they've done this, and they've built this entire ecosystem where basically every character interacts with another one in a certain way. Like, it's just fantastic video game design in general, not just mobile game design. I mean, overall, like, you know, you guys have probably heard us talking for, you know, 5-10 minutes here and there about this game before, but I mean, we figured, you know, since it was a light week, it was time for us to kind of, you know, deep dive into what really makes this game good.
If you are a Star Wars fan and you want a game that you can play on your phone or your tablet every single day, for literally, if you strung all the time together, hours on end, I'm not kidding you. I mean, I don't usually sit there unless it's a raid for more than a few minutes. But if you string all those few minute sessions throughout the day, I'm talking you get probably close to 2 hours a day out of this, if not close to 4 on raid days, depending on the raid you're fighting.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can easily see putting
with $0,
in, you know,
invested.
12 to 14 hours a week on this game. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah. So, I mean, just do yourself a favor if you have a smartphone, if you have really, you know, everybody at this time should have a smartphone, or at least a tablet, like you said, Matt. You know, go download the game for free, jump in there. There's a lot of, I mean, just being able to level up these characters and fighting, you know, even fighting through the initial kind of campaign nodes and stuff, it gets to be really fun. So, yeah, I mean, it's, again, Galaxy of Heroes. You'll probably hear us talk about it again from time to time, but
hey, people, it's free.
The new release,
if anything else, it's fucking free. Like I said, I think the landscape has changed a bit, don't you, in terms of mobile gaming? I think it's not as toxic as it used to be. Like, oh, fuck you, mobile games. Like, there was like an honest hatred towards mobile games a few years ago.
Oh yeah. I mean, now
how can you avoid
that.
it? I mean, this is where our lives are at. Our lives are centered around our fucking phones at this point.
Yeah, and I think now that you have these excellent mobile games, I mean, previously, if you look at, you know, what mobile gaming was, you had stuff like, you know, you had some tower defense games, and you had
like diehard
Angry Birds.
Clash of Clans still. I mean, diehard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I see one of my friends, you know, on Facebook posts up screenshots from him playing Clash of Clans all the time. And I mean, you know, it's now gotten to the point, though, to where the games that are on there, you know, a lot of them are legitimate, like, hardcore gamers who would play, you know, console PC games would enjoy these games. And, you know, both Matt and I come from a gaming background where we probably off cast, we were talking about both of us playing, first person shooters hardcore, and, we can easily transition into playing these mobile games, these, Strike Force and just, Galaxy of Heroes games.
They're so convenient. They are entertaining, especially if you like the license. And they give you something to work towards without having to spend money.
Yeah, I mean, specifically with Galaxy of Heroes, I know for me, when I was putting together my CLS squad, and then after I got him, it was really awesome to play a squad that was, the original cast from the OT. I mean, from Episode 4, you have, Han Solo in a Stormtrooper outfit. You have Princess Leia, dressed exactly like she was on the Death Star in Episode 4. You have, Obi-Wan Kenobi in his Jedi garb. You have Farmboard Luke holding his fucking, his long rifle. Then you have R2-D2. I mean, it was really fucking cool to be able to put together a squad of characters like that and see how they interact with each other and see how, R2's power helps out the whole team, and then, Leia's power can help give everybody buffs and stuff. I mean, it was really fucking cool to play with characters like that. And then also, like we were, mentioning in the beginning, being able to play probably for, in their final game, characters like Jolie Bindo and Bastilla Shan from the Old Republic games that were released by BioWare and by Obsidian. Just really a unique opportunity to play characters that span the entire lifespan of Star Wars, and, play something for free that otherwise wouldn't be there if you were playing on a console or a PC.
I'm trying to put Kira in the splits.
So Matt just got the Black Series Kira.
She's oddly been hard to find in the wild. If you're a collector, you probably understand me, but it's a nice figure. It just I find it odd that they chose to create Kira's figure from her time with very young Han, Corellia Han, versus what she was wearing, when they went on their mission. It's kind of dumb.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you only get to see, young Kira for the first 10 minutes of the movie, and then after that, the primary person. Well,
especially because they made the Han figure as the 3-year-older Han.
Yeah. So you would figure that they would try to, link those two characters at least.
So for a guy like me that
they
takes
felt like going
pictures of his action figures, I'm kind of like, it'd be better if it was the other way. Anyways, dude, so what else we got? Because I think we definitely tried to sell Galaxy of Heroes as if we had stock in it.
Yeah, I mean, Capital Games. If anybody from Capital Games listens to this podcast, we wouldn't be averse to getting a nice little mail drop.
Yeah, we should almost get a sponsorship.
some Yeah, we'll talk about it all the time. But I know you had some pretty interesting
just
family
real quick.
news in terms of Star Wars.
We've already blabbed for a while, so I don't want to go too long on this, but as someone that has had a kid in the past 2 years and who has been a huge Star Wars fan himself, I mean, I'm talking. I was introduced at such a young age, I can't even remember how long. I mean, it's always been a part of my life. So naturally, when I became a dad, I hoped for the same thing for my daughter, but I didn't want to force it on her, because I never felt like my dad forced it on me. I just felt like for some reason, I mean, I'm sure he showed it to me or had the toys, whatever, but I got into it. So out of the blue this weekend, she's a little over 2 now, not quite 2.5. And I'll be honest, I mean, her mom reads her some little kiddie Star Wars books at night, but it wasn't until this Saturday, just out of the blue, unsolicited, she comes up to me and she goes, "Daddy, I want to watch Star Wars. I want to watch Star Wars, Daddy." And I was like, "What?" I mean, I almost cried right there. I almost started crying. It's like, "You want to watch Star Wars?" I was like, "What do you want? What Star Wars do you want to watch?" I want to watch Star Wars, Daddy. So I was like, and I sat there and was thinking, I was like, okay, this is a very important decision in my life, right? As a huge Star Wars fan, as a father of someone that would, I mean, I'd love for her to be a fan too, but again, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, you got to love Star Wars. I refuse to do it. If she finds enjoyment in it, fantastic, whatever. So clearly she was, and she asked, and I showed her. It's been insane, dude, because since that night, it's been every night since now. Daddy, Star Wars? I want to watch Star Wars. I was like, you want to watch Star Wars? And yeah, so what I forgot to mention is that what I ended up showing her, because it's a tough thing to it's something I thought about forever. Like, if I have a kid, how am I going to roll this out to them? Because as anal as I am, I do feel like chronologically it makes the most sense, but I also feel like, well, nah, fuck that. Let's just do it the way Daddy did it, right? But
yeah, I'm always a fan of the OT,
I mean,
and then the prequels.
I still think it works that way, especially in the context that it was released. I mean, it has to work that way because that's the way it was released, right? So, anyways, when you have like a 2-year-old, not even 2.5-year-old, again, come up to you and be like, say, I want to watch Star Wars, out of the blue, it kind of catches you off guard a little bit. Because someone that takes it as serious as I do, I'm like, all right, well, how do we do this? And I instantly was like, you know what? We're going to watch Forces of Destiny. And for those of you unfamiliar with Star Wars Forces of Destiny, I think it started a year ago, maybe. They are animated shorts that debut on, I believe, Star Wars or Disney's YouTube channel. They each last no more than 2 to 3 minutes, and they are little animated anecdotes about the heroines of the Star Wars universe. The males are still in there, but the focus is always on the girls. So I'm thinking, like, okay, got a 2-year-old, short attention span. Does she even know what the fuck she's talking about when she's asking about to watch Star Wars? I have no idea, right? So I thought, okay, I could give her something short. It's going to be animated, and there's going to be girls doing most of the talking and heroic stuff, okay? Makes sense, right? And that's why, I mean, I've always appreciated the Forces of Destiny because of that approach. And I do think they are great little vignettes of Star Wars lore. Highly recommend it. There's 4 volumes at this point. I'm talking over 80 minutes. You can get them on YouTube for free. That's how we're watching it now with little Charlie Ray. And yes, her name is R-E-Y, Charlie Ray. Get the fuck out of here. So anyways, that's why I settled on Forces of Destiny, man. I felt like age, attention span, and I want to promote to her and whatever. If you're listening to this and you're like anti-females or you think I'm being an SJW, that's fine. I guess I am. I will be a social justice warrior, but I want my daughter to feel like girls are badasses. And that's how this cartoon portrays it, and it's Star Wars. That's what she wanted, and that's where we're at now. But now every night, that's it. And this is a girl that loves being outside. She loves going to the creek, loves taking bike rides. But ever since Saturday, when I showed her this, it's every night now. Daddy, I want to watch Star Wars. It's like, oh, what do you want to watch? I want to watch Star Wars. You want to watch the cartoons we've been watching? Yeah. It's like, okay. I mean, how can I say no?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you want as a, like you said, as a father who
and
grew
dude,
up with Star Wars
within
in his
just
life.
a few days, she can now, when we watch certain episodes, because she's clearly seen all of them probably 4 or 5 times at this point. Like, she cycled through all 4 volumes of the episodes at least 4 times. She'll be like, Soga! bomb, like, you know, because she's repeating some of the words they say in the episode, and I try to show her, like, oh, she used the Force to get rid of the bomb, and she'll be like, Force, but even without my direction, she's already starting to call out names and characters and what's going to happen in scenes. So I'm like, all right, well, a win is a win, and I didn't even have to do anything, and that's what was so special to me. It's like I had no influence on this whatsoever.
Yeah, you didn't have to force it on her. It's not like, I mean, of course, when she was a baby, I can remember you posting pictures of her holding like little, puppets
I mean,
or little
I
stuffed
think
animals that were Star Wars and stuff. But
I threw some videos up on Instagram just showing like how intently she was watching it, and then her asking me because it was so cute. But I basically said, like, listen, I get it. I have not forced this upon her, but when you live with me, it's kind of in your face.
Yeah, I mean,
even without me sitting there going, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. I mean, all you have to do is come down to my fucking headquarters to understand what I like in life. And it basically says this guy really likes Star Wars. So even as a little kid, she's been soaking this stuff up through osmosis and just through her periphery. I mean, it's been there. But I've never been the dad, like, I only buy her Star Wars stuff. I mean, no. I mean, yes, I bought her some Star Wars stuff, but I'm not like, oh, look, hey, I got you a Princess Leia doll. Princess Leia, Princess Leia, Princess Leia, Star Wars, Star Wars, go, 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 go. Force, the Force, Luke, 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 Darth Vader, Darth Vader. You know, I'm like, whatever. I mean, she's going to like it or she's not. And apparently, and I do give my wife a lot of credit, I think she likes it because of the books my wife has read to her.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what's really cool about the Forces of Destiny that you started with is that can roll really well into the two animated series that we now have. And the other thing, it
spans all movies now, because there's even a fucking Kira episode at this point. Like, after Solo came out, they dropped like a bonus Kira episode because she's a heroine in the Star Wars universe, and it was new, and they literally added that in. But I mean, it goes back to the prequels. I mean, there's shit on Ahsoka, there's shit on Padme, there's stuff on Leia, there's stuff on Rey, there's stuff on Sabine, Rose. I mean, it's all over.
Yeah, so there you go.
Exactly.
I mean,
so why her timeline's going to be, she doesn't quite get it. She's going to know the characters.
Yeah. So when she does, if
see the real movies, she may be like,
whoa,
like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, even if she does, like, when she hits the 5 or 6 year old mark, you can start showing her like Clone Wars cartoons or the Rebels cartoon series. Even, I mean, at that time,
see, I almost
be deep into Resistance.
Yeah, I almost think I can drop those cartoons on her sooner than later. I'm thinking 5 is almost reserved for the movies. Or maybe even 4. I think at 4 I could probably start laying the live action films on her face.
Yeah. So, and that's the trick is, like, if you're going to start showing them to her that young, do you go with like the more flashy, bright colored prequels?
See, I think
because it'll catch
I
your
ask
attention.
My sister, but I think she started her sons on the old ones, and they were hooked on those, but also enjoyed naturally the prequels.
Yeah. So it's like a balancing act. But the fact that she got hooked on Forces of Destiny, the 2-minute long, little bits like that, I mean, it's a perfect lead into the longer form cartoon series, and then also, like you said, leading into the movies around that, that 5 to 6 year old age. I mean, is
the other thing, like I said, I mean, any motherfucker out there that doesn't think women should be in leading roles, they either hate their mothers, never knew their mother, or for some reason just really hate women. Because as a father, I want my daughter to think that women can be just as strong or as in prominent roles as men. And that's what Forces of Destiny is. It doesn't overshadow the characters of Luke and Han. That they're in some of the episodes, and they're not made to be fools. They're just not the ones doing the heroic act.
Yeah, I mean, even in the original trilogy, the first thing that we see from Princess Leia is her taking control and doing a heroic act. Jump in the garbage
what are you
chute.
doing? Yeah, you got me out of my cell, but outside of that, you're going to get me killed, you dopes.
Yeah, it's like all you did was get yourself deep into this facility with no way to get out. So let me fucking take control. Like
So that's why I do think Forces of Destiny, especially for a young girl, one that's under 3, under 2.5 even, a good place to start. Because it's going to get her used to the themes of heroism, the characters, the settings. And I was telling Nick earlier, I don't know if I may be making this up, but I bought a lot of Star Wars Forces and Destiny dolls are like half price now because they just didn't sell well.
Yeah.
So I picked up a Rey because I was like, all right, she's going to dig this. I'm going to be a hero. I show it to her, and she's happy for a second. Then she looks, she goes, it's BB-8. It's BB-8. Where's BB-8? I was like, fuck. Because there's literally a Rey and BB-8, Rey Jedi training style, but it was $3 more, so my cheap ass bought the $10 one, just plain Jakku Rey. And no, because she's like, in the cartoon, Rey's always with BB-8.
Yeah.
Be it on, on the desert in that outfit, she's with BB-8. So she still accepted it, but she was like, dude, where's the fucking droid, asshole?
Yeah. You have a BB-8. I see it on your desk.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's my BB-8?
I know. I'm going to have to give it to her. All right, so that's just my... I obviously is... anyone listen, if you were a parent and your kids got into it, I'm sure you kind of felt the same way, but it was a pretty magical moment. I've taken videos, and I will cherish those for the rest of my life.
Good stuff. So, yeah. Couple of news beats to hit on. I don't think we're going to hang a lot on this next piece, but we're going to go through it and then move on to our last piece. But there is a rumor out there, and it has to be a rumor because the movie that it is talking about is still a rumor. But there's a rumor out there that the Obi-Wan Kenobi spin-off movie, the Star Wars story...
That's definitely happening, sort of, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe could be happening. Who knows? There's no director.
Yeah, they said that
no
they said the Daldry's now off now because, of course, he was on it in this other Twilight Zone of a world.
Yeah, but anyway, there's a rumor out there from the Belfast Telegraph, which is, I guess it's based in which country is Belfast in? Is that in Ireland?
Hungary, maybe.
Ireland or Green? I'm not sure. I probably sound like an idiot now because I have no idea where
you might
Belfast
be right.
is. You can fucking... Yeah, I think it's either Ireland or Greenland. But anyway, there's a rumor out there that the Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi film is going to start filming in Belfast at Paint Hall Studios in April of 2019. So let's just kind of take that and unpack it a little bit.
You're definitely right.
We have
on the stupid one. You're the right one.
It was in Ireland.
Okay. UK, but that counts.
Okay, yeah, close enough. Anyway, so if we unpack that a little bit, right now we know we have episode 9 filming. The principal photography, I don't think
it still hasn't started.
It hasn't. Yeah, it hasn't started. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but they will start filming.
Everything
year.
I've heard and read, it should be up and running by next weekend, if not by my birthday weekend of the 28th.
Yeah.
If it's not up and running by then, I'm going to start getting a little antsy.
Yeah, it's coming down the pipe. And so if we think about it,
no,
we have
honestly,
that
dude, think about it.
Now.
They're going to start principal probably in August. And the film's supposed to come out December of 19.
Yeah, so that's going to give them less than 18-month turnaround time.
It's going to give them probably less than a year to do post.
Yeah, so they're gonna be working within a tight window unless JJ and Chris Terrio like have their shit worked out and they're like, hey, we can film this movie in 4 months. Then that's gonna be, you're gonna be working with less than a year, like you said. So that's pretty quick to do post. You're talking about inserting all of your digital stuff, all of your CG. Posts, reshoots, ADR, like anything that needs to be done in that vein is going to have to be done from when principal stops, and then up until your release date, which right now is December 2019. So, but assuming that this rumor has any sort of fucking weight to it, we can guess that the April 2019 start date for the filming of Kenobi will probably put that film as the 2020 release that Bob Iger signaled in one of his earlier,
or will it
I believe
be
it was
Ryan
investors calls? Yeah,
episode 1.
Episode, just remake the trilogy. That's what remake the prequels. That's going to be Ryan's thing. But yeah, I mean, it could be because we don't know. I mean, we know for sure that Ryan has his trilogy. It's
that's what I mean.
By Disney Lucasfilm.
That's real shit.
Yeah, so that's on the books. And, we've even had a bit of news from Ron Bergman recently saying that, it could be 2 years away before we see anything from these
We didn't quite know if
films.
that was 2 years before we see a fucking movie still or production art, or 2 years before we see the fucking movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I honestly think it was like 2 years
on that.
before we even get fucking started on this bitch.
Yeah, I think they're a bit further out. I mean, Ryan is still fucking holding his sword and shield and battling the trolls on Twitter. You can see it every day. I mean, I don't know how he does it. I mean, the guy has just a will made of steel. It's insane how he can keep doing it. But, assuming... So what would you think about a 2020 Obi-Wan film? After all of this controversy around Solo... Do you think that a 2020 Obi-Wan film can get past that?
I fucking love Solo, so I would take Solo 2 and 3. I don't give a shit. I mean, I'll take fucking...
Oh, yeah.
I'll take an Unkar plot movie at this point. I don't care. I love Star Wars. I mean, as much as I shit on the prequels, they're still fucking Star Wars movies, okay? It's still Star Wars, you fucks!
Then that's, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I would like to see that be the 2020 movie. I mean, I know we have Ryan's trilogy up there, and we have Weiss and Benioff's series of films as it was put out there by Lucas.
Let's go ahead and read
and Disney.
The more interesting thing from this article.
Yeah. So there's if you want to call this a rumored plot line, you can call it that.
Fucking,
but
it's more like jerk off stuff. But hey, it's still something fun to talk about.
So this is out of TMZ, and apparently,
but to me, I mean, it's like,
well,
yeah. What else do you set up?
Yeah. So apparently, TMZ got a hold of a production bulletin, and it gave what essentially was a plot outline of Kenobi. So this is what it says. Obi-Wan is on Tatooine being an elusive hermit and stuff. This is word for word. Being an elusive hermit and stuff, but secretly watches over an infant Luke Skywalker, whom he delivered to his uncle Owen. Tensions between local farmers and a tribe of sand people, headed by a ruthless war chief, eventually brings Obi out of O-U-T-T-A.
Like straight out of
hiding.
Compton, bitch.
Yeah.
Dot.
And into Jedi kick-ass mode. Period. Scene. Period.
What the fuck does that mean, dude? At the end, what does scene mean? Like,
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I mean,
scene is that like what?
Yeah, is that supposed to be like mic drop?
Exactly.
Like I don't know.
I was just about to say. I mean, is that a new form of mic drop or what? Because that makes no sense. But hey, I'll take it. But I mean, in all seriousness, though, I mean, how else do you set up a fucking Obi-Wan movie? I mean,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways you could take it. I mean, we've already seen that the confrontation between him and Maul happens way in his later years, like right before Episode 4 would take place. So
yeah, only a few years at that point. I mean, Luke was probably 15, 16.
In his mid-teens. But with this, if we're talking about an infant Luke Skywalker, like for some reason in my mind, I always thought it would have something to do with like, him communicating with Yoda, maybe trying to, instead of playing the long game like he ended up doing in the original trilogy, trying to get stuff kickstarted a little bit faster. So like maybe becoming impatient, leaving Tatooine, and that, causing some negative consequences for the Lars family. But I mean, I guess it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that his role would be to, protect that farm.
There is a line in A New Hope that sets up complete kind of freedom to run with this type of plot, and it's been, basically when Owen says like, I'm not going to let you get mixed up on some old damn full crusade, with this idiot. And like, what else did Owen really know of Obi-Wan? He knew nothing. I mean, he never met Obi-Wan in the prequels. I mean, Anakin was the asshole that showed up and was like, I'm leaving to do this, and there's no mention of Obi-Wan.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the only time he met Obi-Wan was at the end of Sith when he drops fucking Luke's ass off. So there had to be something that happened that made Owen think that Obi-Wan was a fucking asswipe.
Well, like the idealistic crusade line, I think that was from Obi, and he was talking about Anakin. It's like he told him, you're going to go on some fool idealistic crusade with an old man like your father or something like that, But, Owen did say something to him about, about Ben. He's just some crazy old hermit that's out in the wastes. You don't need to be mixed up with him. But I mean, it does make sense though, because that's his charge. I mean, Obi-Wan's charge at that time is to protect Luke at all costs. So, and we already know that
I don't see this. I mean, if this movie is actually going to happen, it's all taking place on Tatooine.
Yeah, at first I thought that he might leave,
and it's got to revolve around Luke somehow.
Yeah, and we already know unfortunately from Episode 2, one of the better scenes, the best scene in Episode 2, that the Sand people are ruthless motherfuckers. Like, they will kidnap and brutally abuse, people who live in the, I don't think that Luke and his family lived in the Junlan Wastes, but around, in the dunes, the moisture farmers, and they'll just kidnap these people and torture them. So it's well documented that the Sand people are a nuisance, if not more than that, to these farmers.
I hate them.
I killed them all.
That's actually one of the only good scenes in the prequels, to be honest. This is the only time I felt like, all right, I could see where there's seeds of Darth Vader in this motherfucker, but then...
Yeah, well, that's the first scene where you got the Darth Vader theme song played lightly in the back, so... But yeah, I mean, it was, that's set out there, and I could believe that Obi-Wan would be able to, go in like Anakin did in Episode 2 and try to dispatch these Sand people to try to, save, who knows, maybe somebody gets kidnapped.
Obi would never be able to slaughter them.
Probably not.
There's no way. He couldn't do it. No way.
Yeah. He wouldn't do it like Anakin did, for sure. I mean, he'd probably be a little bit more subversive about it and try to get out without causing any casualties, but I think it could be cool. I mean, I want to know exactly what into Jedi kick-ass mode means. Like,
scene, bitch.
Yeah, scene. Does he just fucking bust out his lightsaber?
No, I think he's gonna pull out a Glock and be like, "Scene, motherfucker."
Yeah, just pull out a blaster, uncivilized, like in Episode 3 when he's fighting Grievous. Just bust off a few rounds, throws it away.
Seen me, motherfucker.
Yeah, so this is that's what's basically been put out there for the plot.
So that goes to show you how fucking official the Obi-Wan movie is. So everyone else eat shit.
Yeah, so that's the
there is no fucking Obi-Wan movie until Lucasfilm says there's an Obi-Wan movie. So stop it.
Yeah. we'll
fucking
see.
read that synopsis. Scene. Get the fuck out of here.
That's written on the docket for Lucasfilm. That's on the official IMDb page for the Obi-Wan.
They might as well just put, "Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?" at the end. Like, what the fuck is that? And like you said, Alda.
Ridiculous shit.
Alda.
Yeah, Outa. Outta. Like, just insane.
Yeah,
So
that Obi-Wan movie is definitely legit.
Yeah. Let's move on to at least the movie that we know is
the
happening.
movie's happening, but this story's about as legit as the Obi-Wan piece here.
Yeah, I mean, it comes from a more reputable source, I would say, than the Belfast Telegraph.
But it's based on chatter. That's the best part. But hold on, what's the title? Here's the title. Star Wars, Billy D. Williams reprising role as Lando Calrissian. Here's the subtitle. The actor is returning for Episode 9.
Yeah, I mean, right up front, Billy D. Williams is returning to a galaxy far, far away. Then you get to the third paragraph. It starts with chatter about Williams joining the production. Chatter, not guaranteed. His agent told us this. He told us this on the record. Lucasfilm told us this. After you have that bold title and a reinforcing subtitle, it takes them to the third paragraph to just say, "Oh yeah, by the way, it's just chatter." Yeah, and I mean, just look at what what they use as verification. They say chatter about Williams joining the production, which is set to begin later this summer, increased in recent days when the actor bowed out of an upcoming sci-fi and pop culture convention, citing a conflict with a movie schedule.
I could see that. I mean, yes, could that be true? Could it be Star Wars? More than likely, because the guy's not going to be on any other movies. But still, give me some fucking concrete information. Stop this fucking clickbait assumption bullshit. And dude, people ran with this left and right.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at... Okay, so like you probably heard me typing in the background. If you look at IMDb, even IMDb, if you go to his IMDb page, it's hilarious what's on there. If I read it off, and this is something else that they talked about in this article will pop up here too. So he did actually voice Lando Calrissian in Battlefront 2. So if you've played Battlefront 2 and you've played the campaign and you've played even the multiplayer, the lines that were said by Lando, and
I think he's done some
the
of
actual
the
campaign
work too.
Yeah, he did stuff in the Freemaker Adventures. He did stuff in Lego Star Wars Force Awakens as Lando. So, I mean, like, he's been coming back for these Lando roles little by little. Star Wars Rebels, he did the voice for Lando. I think somebody else did the voice for Lando in Clone Wars, if he popped up there at all. But he did not. Yeah, he didn't do it there. But on his... listed in pre-production on his IMDb page is Star Wars Detours. So, do you remember Star Wars Detours? Do you remember what that was? This was pre-Disney acquisition.
I mean, honestly, I'm kind of sad that all got canceled because I think it looked pretty fucking fun.
It did. It looked super fun, but it's still listed on his IMDb page in post-production for a 2019 release date, which to me is insane. But the other credit that he's given right now is Star Wars Episode 9 as Lando Calrissian in 2019. So, like, even, IMDb, I don't know who controls these credits on here.
People do, honestly, because just knowing my friends that are out there, I mean, to me, it sounds like it's basically a Facebook page.
Yeah, so, I mean, if it's his people that are running this IMDb page or somebody affiliated with him, like, they've put that on there.
And I don't know, I even with that, I'm still... And honestly, I mean, there's other things to talk about this, because if it is really going to happen, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I think it makes complete sense, and I think the reason it probably is going to happen is because of Carrie Fisher being dead.
Yeah, I mean...
I feel like they felt like they had to replace an OT.
Yeah, I don't want to say... I don't know what the plans were for Episode 9 before... I don't know what Colin planned on doing. I know he said he had both Luke and Leia heavily involved, and I don't know what JJ's plans were for Episode 9 before he found out that Carrie had passed away. But I mean, and that would have to be his original draft for it, like when he was still working on 7. But I do feel like you're probably right here. Like we talked about before, I mean, like even going back to our original, like
this is a Terrio Abrams addition to the fucking story. If this is happening, 100%.
I do think it has to do with keeping that relic from the original trilogy there, and I'm not saying relic in any sort of derogatory term towards Billy D. Williams' age. I'm just saying, that as a, having a character from the OT still there. It does feel weird that he's coming in now, but I think narratively it can make sense, because if you're still under the assumption that, the resistance and what we assume is now called the rebellion is still semi-rooted in the old ways of the rebellion from the original trilogy, then having one of those key members there could help ignite it and really, bring this loose band of people who are left at the end of Episode 8 together. So I like the addition. I definitely, would love to see Billy D. Williams on screen again. I mean, it's been a while.
Do you think there's any chance he ends up being Finn's dad, as people have speculated for years now?
People have been saying that for a long time, and if you play through the, Project Resurrection in not Galaxy of Heroes, in Battlefront 2, like, you learn about the First Order's, what Project Resurrection is, which is essentially the First Order went out and kidnapped a bunch of children and brainwashed them. So if this same principle applies to Finn, then, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Billy D. Williams or, Lando Calrissian could be his father. I mean, it would be, to me, I think it would be a stretch, and it would be really kind of like a tenuous time.
I honestly think it was just people being Neanderthals, be like, oh, hey, it's another black guy. Well, the only other black guy was Lando, so it must be that black guy's kid.
It's got to be his dad. So, I mean, could JJ and Chris swing it that way? I'm sure they could, but I don't think that they would do something like that. I think that they would use Lando Calrissian as more of a rebellion against the Empire. He's going
to be someone they go to for some sort of key piece of advice.
Yeah, and if you think about it, if Lando, after post Episode 6, still hung around with the New Republic and still played an integral role, we probably would have seen him already. Like, we would have seen him with either introduction of Leia in the Resistance in Episode 7. We would have seen him maybe even at Maz Kanata's castle in Episode 7. I don't think that he is an active member of the Resistance. I don't think that he played any role in the Resistance. I think you're right that they're probably going to him for something, or asking him like, hey, we need your help. We know that you were an integral part of the fall of the Empire. We need your expertise here because we're in a tough spot.
Yeah, I'm not. My point is, if it sounds like I'm railing on, it's not against him returning. I mean, I would love it. Don't get me wrong, I would love it. I just like these days. I mean, people just print whatever the fuck they want, and that's why you give these idiots that scream fake news some legs to stand on. Yeah. I mean, there's like we said going into this. This is not confirmed by Kathleen Kennedy, by Lucasfilm, by Disney, or anything like that. This is literally based off of chatter due to Billy canceling a con appearance. Like, that's chatter. All that happened. I mean, that's the best description. Chatter.
Yeah, I mean, this is almost as bad, or if not worse, than the Collider article that was like, all of the Star Wars stories are canceled. They're put on hold indefinitely because some janitor at Pinewood saw a whiteboard change. Like, but as we can see and as we know and as we try to capitalize on with this podcast, like anything that has the name Star Wars in it right now gets some sort of traction. And I mean, this is the Hollywood Reporter. This is a well-known news outlet for, movies, TV shows, and stuff like that. So
get paid and make livings working for this site.
Yeah, so it's not like this is coming from, JoeSchmo.com.
This isn't like an Entertainment Buddha article. I mean, this is like from a real site.
Yeah, so the fact that it's coming out on this site and based off of the tenuous sorts of evidence that they have for this announcement, it's very, very weird. So, yeah, I mean, what, if anything, if this does come to fruition, do you think that Calrissian dies in this movie like everybody else has?
I honestly don't think he has to. I think it actually makes sense that he just stays alive. I think he would just play like this very, I mean, it's lame to say it, but fatherly, scholarly type of role, as in kind of like Maz,
Yeah. I actually think that those two characters may be linked.
Why wouldn't
they?
I mean, why the fuck wouldn't
kind of?
I mean, here's the other thing where we probably lost out on Solo. I mean, there's an opportunity to introduce how Solo knew Maz.
Yeah, exactly. Like he could have known her from his
based on
young
the way
days.
they acted. It would have made sense if we saw them interact when he was, at the Alden age of Han.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would have been a perfect little, tie-in to have in that series.
Now, so thank you.
No. But, I mean, knowing the circles that Solo and Calrissian ran in the Solo time period, it wouldn't surprise me at all that, Maz and Lando would be good friends, or at least, running in the same circles. And we know
I
that
can
Maz,
see her pointing them in his direction.
Yeah, and we know that Maz was a creation of J.J. Abrams, and we know that, he will likely try to revisit that character.
Think about it, she's like one of the only things outside of the main characters which he couldn't fuck with that Ryan brought along with him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a very, very slight nod to that character, if you remember in TLJ, that you saw her basically on a hologram. But yeah, I mean, that's somebody else that JJ could bring back into the fold. And like we had mentioned in previous casts, like there's still pieces of data out there that she has the answer to.
She still has the knowledge of the lightsaber.
Specifically around that lightsaber. So I wouldn't be upset in any way if we got some Maz Kanata back in there and then using her as a vehicle to get to Lando Calrissian. I think it'd be a really cool connection between those two characters, and a great way to kind of bring him in without it seeming like it's some sort of forced deal. So yeah, man, that's the news that we've gotten this week. News, quote unquote, pretty much two rumors.
It was a light week, as Nick and I were talking offline, but I mean, there's some good stuff to talk about, and of course we drug it out. I mean, you won't hear a lot of what we were talking about before our mics went live, but we've been talking for at least 2 hours at this point, so
yeah, coming on the 2.5 hour mark, and you guys have only heard about an hour and 20 minutes.
We do a lot of serious pre-planning, if you will, before we go live with the mics. But anyways, we got you covered on all things Star Wars related that you need to know about. We try to weed out the bullshit, even though we talked about some very rumor-heavy articles. There's a good chance they may come true, but until the powers that be stamp off on it, I'm at least not putting it up on entertainmentbuddha.com, but we'll talk about it here on Star Wars Time because we have to, and because you love it. You know you do, and if you don't, you should. If you should, you could tell someone else to love it too. We appreciate it. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Android, RSS, email if you want to. You can get it any way you want. $5. So just get with it. And if you are listening on iTunes, drop a review if you could, please. The more reviews we get, the higher we're going to climb the ranks. The more people that will find us for Star Wars podcasts, the more we will love you. All right, my friends. Until next time, may the Force be with you. Always.